Hello, dragons. I'm back. And welcome to the Dragon's Den once again. And now we're continuing with their story of the deep sea diver. But also, the diver will be joining us as well. To teach you the ins and outs and the tips and tricks and all the things you need to know to become a deep sea diver just like him. But he's going to be a little later on. When we left off, we said that he was excited for his new life here on the sea, in the Sea of Ark. This is the place, this is the exact same place he actually decided to build his home, on one of these ocean platforms. Not too far away from the obelisk, and not too far away from land. So he hatched a plan to make himself a nice little home. But just like with every peril of the sea, you've got to be careful. You always got to be careful. If you make an ocean platform on these islands or close to here, sometimes a friend will join you, but we'll talk a bit more about him later. So when he decided to do this, to make his home upon the sea, he never thought that anything would be bigger than the Megalodon. He hadn't had a clue. He didn't grow up knowing what we know today about all the dinosaurs and stuff. No, he wasn't a paleontologist, and he didn't know anything about it. All he cared of was capturing and taming dangerous animals from the water. But his first thing he actually got was some eggs. Some land animals, because he knew we would have to keep going back and forth from the land. So our young adventurer started work upon his home. And just to give you an idea, this is exactly what I'm doing now on here. Is how he began, is how he started his life here on Ragnarok. His other home that he used to have on the island was destroyed as soon as he was sent here. But of course, if you want to hear about the island and how he got there in the first place, I would definitely recommend to go check out the previous story. So with that said, selfless plug over. Let's get back to doing what we were supposed to be doing in the first place. Telling you about the diver. Basically, when he started to make his home, he was nervous, very nervous, because he knows the sea can be calm and tranquil at one moment, but the next it could be dangerous. And so he was right. He wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. He was thinking about his home and all the people around him. That's when tragedy struck. A shark from below came up and tried to swallow him. And he decided that he wasn't going to do anything to this poor, innocent creature. He was going to wait until he built his home upon this raft. And then he would go after that shark and tame it. But little did he know that he could be in serious trouble. There's not just the sharks in these waters. As you will soon find out when you join the Ark. This place is very dangerous. You have got to be careful of what you are doing on here. But then he thought, I'm the only person on. He thought he was the only person on this on the island. Nope. There was other adventurers, other survivors on this island. He joined a PvP, player versus player world. He tried to make friends, he tried to make allies, but not one of them wanted to be friends. Not one of them wanted to be his ally and help him. So he turned to the only person he knew he could trust. Himself. He became bitter and very lonely. He became a bitter, old, cranky old man, knowing that if he saw anybody else, they would probably try to kill him. But it wasn't true. Not everybody on the island wanted him dead. There was a few people on there that he became good friends with, very good friends with. But he found out why they were being good friends with him. Because they just wanted to use him to get other people, to raid other people. These were PvPers after all. All they thought about was to become king of the island, or alphas of this whole island. That's where the term, who is the alpha tribe, came from. You always wondered, where did the term alpha tribe come from? Well, the first people, the first ones who ever to grace the world, to grace this world, were called the Kikamoka tribe. The Kikamoka tribe, they didn't speak a word of English, or poor Diver didn't know anything but English. And they talked in a totally different language that he'd never heard of, or would ever hear of again. The Kikamoka tribe was called that because they could only speak in riddles. That's all they could speak in, is just plain gibberish or riddles. So he decided that he would try infiltrate their tribe, try and help them out, learn their language. If they would help him to get off this island, they will. If he would help them to become the leaders of this island, he will leave permanently. He will never return. And the Kikamoka tribe, in their own native tongue, basically told him to go get knotted. And they would attack him on sight if they saw him again near their home. To give you a rough place, they live not far from the Wyvern Den. Yes, that's right, just up there. Whoops. So yes, they basically took over that land, the whole of that land, the whole of it was theirs. No one would dare go near there unless they wanted to be chopped up and flipping sent to pieces. Basically, these people were cannibals. They didn't care for anyone or anything. If you got in their way, well, it's bad news for you. It is very bad for you if you ever come across that tribe. So, they did take over that part, and they would not let it go. They made their base so massive and so well fortified, our poor diver friend could not get anywhere near the place. As soon as he saw through his telescope that there was at least 250 turrets, turret towers, turrets, bombs laying the floor. They had everything. They basically were kings of this island. No one could touch them. He could not get near them. But through the days, through the years, months, days, and many, many trials, he tried to find a way to get in there. But he found out how they were working the thing, how they actually made it so heavily fortified. They actually beat the bosses. So they had futuristic technology that they could craft, named tech. The tech stuff.
Okay, I'm going dinner.
We'll be back.
See you in a bit, mate.
Alright.
So with the tech stuff, you could make tech bombs, tech suits that you could fly. Like, if you've already played the game, you would know all about the tech stuff. That he didn't. They were wondering. He was wondering, how did they get such advanced technology in such a primitive place? That's when someone from the previous story came the bosses came to him once again and told him, "You are outmatched by this tribe. You do not stand a chance. As long as you have your primitive weapons and stuff, you will be destroyed." Over and over and over again. Which was true. He did lose quite a few times. He lived on the island for quite a few years. Until he decided to come on to here. Knowing that he could probably one day challenge once again these monstrosities that run the island. And he turned to them and told them that they're calling themselves the bosses, the alphas, the main people on this island, the ones who run it. And the bosses did not like that. No, they will not allow some pretenders to say they run this island. No. So he used his own intelligence. He knew he couldn't do it alone. So he had them destroy their base and completely level everything. He thought he was kind of smart. He thought he could take them on now and defeat them. No. Not in the hope in hell did he stand a chance against them still. He didn't stand a chance against these people. Not a chance. Simply because they had more numbers. They had hundreds of members. Hundreds. They were a big tribe. A big family. They've been living... They were breeding on this island. So no matter what, each time they give birth to a new child, that child was stronger than the previous person who came. They learned from the best. They learned everything they could from them. From the elders. And then they put that into practice against the only one who was on the island. For many years, they found a way to destroy our poor deep sea divers' bases with ease, just by sheer force of numbers. He didn't stand a chance against them. Until one day, someone else joined him on the island. A young lady, which he fell madly in love with. But, once again, he could not understand the words she was saying because she was from a different part of the world. She was an Italian woman. Beautiful and very, very powerful. She was learned how to survive in many places. She was a survivalist. That's all she knew, is to survive. That's all she was taught. And remember when I said the deep sea diver was alive in the 1800s? This girl was not. She was much, much younger. She was born in 1990, in the 90s. So, you can guess how old he is now. As he is on here, as he's still trapped here on the island, He still stayed at the age of 25. He hasn't aged in all that time. And when he saw her, he taught her everything he knew about speaking English. So within 3 years, the two of them were able to speak English fluently. She was able to speak it. It took a long time to learn, but he decided long ago he wasn't going to die alone. So, with that said, he decided, that's when our wonderful diver came up with a plan to destroy them once and for all. The girl was never seen with the diver, not once. So he told her to go, convinced her, I should say, convinced her to go to their camp. They could not build at the Wyvern Den anymore because, well, the dragons took it back. So they went further inland, as far as you could go, to the desert. And they built a castle. A gigantic castle. And that's how you've seen the castle today. They were amazing builders. That's amazing. There was nothing they could not build and you could not hold. They could not hold for quite some time. So with that, he decided that he will find where their base is and then send her off to it. She had everything she needed to get what she wanted from them. She found the chief, the master, the boss, the one who was in charge of everything. And he was a bit suspicious of her to begin with. But she could speak their language. So he accepted her into the tribe. After that, they told her about the diver, or as they called him, the demon of the sea. So, when she met them, it didn't go well at first. Not at first, it did not go well. But with time, they started to trust her and started to believe what she was saying. He told her to tell them where he was. He built another ocean platform not far from here. At Blue Orb. Right at Blue Orb. Right where you can see it. And she wondered, why would you have me tell them where you are just so you can get attacked? He had a plan. He knew that they couldn't swim. They weren't very good swimmers. So he used that to his advantage. He used all that knowledge that he's learnt about them to trick them and it was a marvelous trick what he pulled on these people. He'd said to them that he would surrender. He will not bother them again as long as they leave him alone. He will leave them alone. So immediately they believed him, but for some unknown reason they believed that he was telling the truth. But we all know the diver is a master liar. He never told the truth. He's never told them the truth once in his life. To these people, I mean, not to anyone else. To them, they thought he was being honest. He was going to leave them be. So they did one last thing to make sure that he will never come back. They said to him that if you like the sea so much, it's time to sleep with the fishes.
Yo, man.
So,
Huh?
hello there. Hello guys. You're just in time to hear the exciting bit. So, they said to him that you like fishes, it's time to sleep with them. So after that, they tossed him into the sea. They tossed him into the sea, and after that, he nearly drowned.
www.
www what? Anyway, and that is when he met the thing he obsessed about. The League sickness. Not just any League sickness, the White League sickness. After that, he became obsessed with it. And I mean obsessed. He would not let it go. He vowed.
LOL, it's Forgotten Gods. I can reinstall and see if I can get my account unbanned if you're on Official, and I can get the most toxic thing of the woe.
Absolutely. You well, luckily this server is a PC server, unofficial PC server. So you're good. You're all good. You can join. You can join me, and well, I'm glad you reminded me about that. On the previous video, I am looking for two people to join
LOL,
me.
by the way, in Escape 1, long time no see. Awesome shoes it have app cross arc.
I agree with that. But I'm glad you remind me about that. If you want to be a part of this story, of the Deep Sea Divers story, we have room for two people in this. One has to be a woman, and the other has to be a bloke. But I'm about to get to the bloke in a minute. So basically, after the League sickness saved his life, he vowed to capture and thank the League sickness. But since that moment, after the League sickness saved his life, he could never find it again. He thought he remembered his old tale
Me
of
glow
Moby
sticks white dye blind alpha tribe, aka seizure sticks.
I don't know who that is. But after that, he tried and he tried and he tried. He looked for many, many years to find the white league sickness. And he could
But
remember
didn't
from
read plus sun fell.
so he remembered from his old favorite tale, Moby Dick.
www.
So he remembered from his old tale that he grew up loving Moby Dick.
Okay, I'm fine.
Welcome back.
www.
Who keeps playing WWW? Can you stop that? I can see. Can you stop? Seriously, God. I'm serious. I can see it was you who was doing that. Stop it. I wouldn't come onto your streams or your things and put something so ridiculous. So stop that now. Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, well, that's easy enough. I just turned off the chat, the text chat now. So put as much as you want because it's not going to come through anymore. So many years passed after him finding him being saved by the league sickness. Many years passed after that. Then he found himself exploring the caves again, the underwater caves. That's when he met someone again. He thought it was another one of that dreadful tribe again. But it wasn't. It was another brand new survivor. So he asked him, what was he doing there? Why was he in the caves? So he said that he was there trying to get away from that tribe. He had as much trouble as he did trying to get away from them, but never could get away. So after that, he decided he would hide out in this cave for the day, because he saw one of them running around trying to tame a T-Rex. So after that, he asked him, could he join him? And the diver was a bit he was a bit nervous. So he said, if you will help me capture a very dangerous creature, I will consider bringing you into the tribe. So he was looking for the mosasaur, but didn't have a clue where it was at the time. But this guy, he knew exactly where the mosasaurs live. So he took him to him and told him they are a passive tame. So no matter what happens, as long as he gives him food, throws food to him, he'll be fine. But not to get too close. They are very skittish. They're very scared of people. So with that, the two of them became the vast friends. But the diver still didn't trust him. So he asked him, our new friend, his new friend asked him what was his name. And he said, diver. And he said, no, that's your profession. That's what you do. What is your actual name? And he wasn't ready to tell him his name yet, because he didn't know if he could trust him or not. So he said to him, I'm sorry, I don't tell people my name. He's very worried that anybody finds out who he is could use that against him. So he decided not to tell anybody, not even the love of his life. He kept it secret for many, many more years. But of course, if you want to find out his name, it's a simple thing you need to do. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If I can get 100 likes on this video, I will can't speak English today. I will reveal the name of the diver. But until then, we will mention him as just the diver. So, as we were, it's not that he was worried about telling him, this guy, what his name was. He just didn't know he could trust him yet. So after that, he decided that he would, until he could trust him, he told him, that is my name for now. Until I can learn to trust you, and I can trust you without question, I will tell you my name. But until then, he would not tell him. So, his new friend turned to him and said, that's understandable. You don't know me, I don't know you. It might be for the best. It's probably for the best that we don't tell each other's names just yet. So the diver asked him what should he call him. So he said to him, just call me Angler, the deep sea angler. And that's where he got the name. He just named himself Diver. Nothing more. He just always thought of himself as Diver. But then he thought of Deep Sea Diver. And that is how. And he said, can you call me the Deep Sea Diver? And the guy went, you stole that from me. Said, it's a good name. I quite like it. And he said, I agree. That is a very good name for you. Said, from now on, I'm the Deep Sea Angler. You're the Deep Sea Diver. So they each called each other Angler and Diver. To anyone else, they told them to call them either the Deep Sea Angler or Diver. That went on for for about 3 years. By this time, the girl came back. She came back and decided that she was so in love with the deep sea diver, she wanted to marry him. But he asked, how are we going to do that? There's no priest or anything. We can't legally get married on here. So his new friend told him, oh, actually, yes, you can. Back before I actually got I'm sorry, 1 second. Right. Yeah, I'm doing a film. And we are back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So, as I was saying, he told him that he used to be a minister or a preacher, until he actually found himself here. So, with that said, he decided then, I will marry yous. So, the two of them got married, and they lived for a few months quite happily until one day, as the deep sea angler and the diver went out with his wife, tragedy struck. They were messing around too much, weren't looking where they were going, and that is when the giant squid came up out of nowhere and swallowed his wife whole, and ripped them to shreds, crushed her to death. But then, that wasn't all. After that, his friend got took as well. Well, half of him got took. A shark came up, smelling the blood, and snatched her away from the giant squid. But she wasn't dead. She was just knocked out, just KO'd. After that, she woke up in the jaws of this gigantic monstrosity of a shark. An alpha shark came along and tried to take it, and tried to make her his next meal. But then, that wasn't all that came along. Our poor girl was in much bigger trouble now. Much bigger. Because, little did he know, the largest and most dangerous underwater dino in history was slowly coming up from the deep. The Mosasaur. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can take on a Mosasaur. They are the apex predators of the Jurassic period. Even though this whole place, this whole island, is a combination of different species from different time periods. Some are from the Cretaceous, some are from the Jurassic, and so on and so forth. But the diver didn't know. The diver didn't know about this. He hadn't a clue about this sort of thing. All he knew, his wife was getting torn to shreds by this monstrosity. 5 times the size of a normal megalodon. So then, he jumped into the water and took on that alpha megalodon and killed it successfully. But before he could set his attention to the Mosasaur, his friend once again was taken away, far, far away from him. His friend was taken. Didn't have a hope in hell. What came after him, he never found out. He couldn't see what it was. All he could see was glitter. It was like glittering in the sunlight. We knew what it was, a Liopleurodon. But he did not know. He could not see. Because he was weeping so bad. It was so upset and so beguiled with himself. He could not even think. It was that grief-stricken. So then he turned to nobody. He turned and he turned and he spun around. He thought quite a few times of ending his life, but he knew that wouldn't have meant a bloody thing. Because you keep coming back on this island. No matter how many times you die, you will always come back. But the grief of losing them the first time was so overwhelming. He left. He left the world. He tried to find another place. But he could not. He was stuck here. So he took out all his frustration, all his anger out on that tribe. The Cuculactus ones. But finding they were gone. The Cuculactus, they were no longer the Alpha tribe anymore. They lost everything. They could not find a thing. They couldn't find another way to do anything. They were outmuscled, outmatched, and outclassed by another massive tribe. This tribe was bigger than the last one. This was a super tribe. All of them were experts at underwater, at everything they could be. Underwater, in the air, everything. They didn't stand a chance, the Cuculactus clan. Not a hope. They fought for quite a few years, but he did not know about the diver. He didn't have a clue. Because even though they came back, his friends came back, he could not bring himself to ask him to do anything again. He lost everything. He lost his nerve, he lost his bottle, he lost everything. He could not bring himself to believe they came back. He thought he was the only one. So, after that, he decided that he will just leave them be. He kicked them out of his tribe and killed them. Yes, you heard me right. He killed them. As soon as that's the thing with the deep sea diver. If you die by another tribe, by that other tribe, you're safe, you're fine. You will return. But if you die by the diver, that's it. You will not come back. He killed his only friends, his only true friends in the world. they found their way back home. They were safe. They were fine. But our poor diver was not. He sank even deeper into depression. As far as you could go. There was nothing he could do except weep for many, many years. Until the day this new tribe tried to make peace with him. And they did. They actually were looking for peace. They did not want to fight. They weren't fighters. So, with that knowledge, the diver decided that, you know what? If they're not fighters, I need to become one. I could become the alpha of this place. I could take back everything those people have taken from me. Let them feel what I felt. And I can honestly tell you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it backfired on him. Big time. It backfired on him. Those people did not like the idea of being used or constantly being attacked over and over and over again for something they didn't even do. Yes, the diver was a sweet, innocent, old fool, but now he has turned out to be the villain in his own story. After that, he decided that it was time to start raiding people. Bring people into his tribe to raid them. If they did not join his tribe and give him all the dinos, he would destroy their base and come back every single time until they join him to make a super tribe, to beat the super tribe. The difference between their super tribe, the super tribe he was in, that they brought along with them, they were peaceful. They weren't fighters, they were philosophers. They were people of science. Young children. But he didn't care about that. All he cared about was power. That's all he could care about, was just accumulating as much power as he could. So he went off. Before he raided all those people, that big tribe, he went to defeat the bosses. He beat every single one. From the lowest rank from the lowest one to the beta one. But he thought, this will be a test for my tribe and see how good they are at fighting. So he went off to destroy them. He found their base. It was only tiny. It was minuscule. They had quite a few little mini huts made out of thatch. Some out of wood. They didn't use stone or metal. They didn't want to deplete the resource of this island. They were smart people. They were kind people. They loved the land, just like the diver did many years ago. But now, as I've said, he was hungry for power. So he went to them and said, you all have you got two choices. Technically one, you can join me and make a super tribe under my name. or I will destroy this base, these little homes, and I will burn them to the ground with you inside them. So he stayed true to his word. He burnt one of them down to show that he was not joking. Luckily, there was nobody inside there, but all their dinos, all their tames, all their food was in there, and it was burnt to a cinder. There was nothing left. So he turned to them again and told them, this is what's going to happen to every last one of you if you do not comply with me. And once again, he knew they would not fight back. He was a coward, a bully, a horrible person now. No one liked him, no one trusted him. But they did what he said. They laid down their arms and joined his tribe, and even give him all his dinos. All their dinos they worked so long and so hard to get. You would think that was it. He got what he wanted. He's going to be nice now. Far from it. He did not give up. He did not stop. He continued his reign of tyranny. He continued on with his reign of tyranny, not caring about anybody but himself. And let this be a lesson to you all. Those who think of themselves will always get what they deserve in the end. They always do. So, you must be wondering, how did he get what he deserved? Well, that'll be a story for another time, my dragons. So, I hope you enjoyed this story. And I will tell you, and you will have to tune in tomorrow to find out what happens next. But don't worry, tonight, there will be another story tonight. For a few nights now, for the next few nights, depending how many people we get, it will be bedtime stories with Dragon. So round about 8, 9 o'clock at night tonight, 9-ish tonight, there will be a new story for you. But not on Ark. No. That is the morning story. The story you will be enjoying tonight will have to do with Skyrim. Yes, you heard me right. Skyrim tonight. And don't worry, it's not as depressing or as convoluted as this story. No. You're going to enjoy it. So, once again, I have been the King of the Dragons. This has been a story about the deep sea diver. Diver, will you say goodbye to your fans? It was nice to see you again, lads. So, I hope you enjoyed this so far, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye, and good luck. Goodbye, Diver. And also, goodbye to you too, my dragons. And don't forget, the King of the Dragons always loved you. Mwah! Goodbye.